So, how about another tune?
Sure. How about some jigs on the flute?
How about some jigs on the flute?
All right. I want to introduce them. And the first jig is called Rafferty's. I've heard it by another name, but it was given to me by John Skelton, who was really my first teacher who taught me tunes. And I believe it's named after Mike Rafferty, or Mike Rafferty's father. They're both flute players. Mike Rafferty's father was known as Beryl Rafferty. And so this tune was composed by either one of those two gentlemen and given to me by John Skelton, a fine flute instructor and flute player. And the second tune is a Vincent Broderick tune. Vincent Broderick was an All-Ireland winner on flute, I believe in the 50s, and he passed away in 2008. And he was a great composer of flute tunes that have been very easily adopted into the tradition. And the name of that tune is The Old Flail.
Dan Forsythe, very beautiful. So, is that considered an Irish flute?
Yes.
And what makes that what makes that flute Irish?
Today it's called an Irish flute. It was a concert flute during the Baroque era, or toward the end of the Baroque era. It has no keys, although you can find Irish flute with keys that makes them chromatic. So essentially it has the same fingering as a tin whistle, which makes sense. The technique utilized to play the Irish music comes from the pipes, which have very few keys, and they don't have keys that cover the holes. And so the articulations, which are oftentimes called embellishments, they're rhythmic articulations. And so you move your fingers very quickly, much like the Highland pipes are similar in that sense, to add emphasis on particular notes, and also to make a slight differentiation between notes. Instead of playing a triplet with my tongue, taka taka, I would just use my fingers. And while my fingers' movement might sound a small note, you move them so quickly you don't hear the pitch of that note. You just hear the tone of the note being interrupted, and you turn it into three notes instead of one.
Mm-hmm. So, Dane, you have time to stick around. I want to play a couple of messages.